Hello everyone, welcome to my messy office. I'm Dr. Hovey and I wanted to say hello as we enter the third week of class and just give you a sense of the structure of the class and where we're going. This week we are going to think about the historical construction of women under the law. And so we're going to be starting with the Declaration of Independence because that is the document that the Seneca Falls Convention used to draft its Declaration of Sentiments. Seneca Falls Convention, the first ever women's rights convention that we know of. Notice that the language is taken right from the Declaration of Independence. It would have been familiar to its audience. It's a way of taking the ideas in the Declaration and pushing them a little further, right? And saying, these apply to women too, right? Shouldn't they? And the second, and maybe one of the most important documents that you're going to look at is Blackstone on coverture. Now, Blackstone was one of the leading interpreters of law in Britain. And when the colonists came over here, Blackstone was used as a basis of thinking about how to make law here because it was considered as such an important interpretation of English common law. So that's who Blackstone is, William Blackstone. So coverture, which was imported over here, is exactly what it sounds like. It's the idea that a man covers a woman, not only socially, but politically during marriage. So her personhood, and this is the exact word that he uses, is dissolved during marriage. She does not exist. She is him, and he is her. They are one. And not just in a nice metaphorical sense, they're actually legally one person. So the good thing about coverture, I guess, is that if you run up a bunch of debts as a wife, you're not responsible for them. Your husband is. Might be bad for you in the long run. But also if you make a contract with a woman, well, you're the fool because you can't make a contract with a woman any more than you can make a contract with a child. You make a contract with the real legal person who is the man. So just, read that and understand that it is actually defining women as non-persons. You can't, and for a long time it was the basis of everything from women not being able to make contracts, own property, have credit, or even prosecute domestic abuse or domestic rape. You can't rape yourself. If the law defines you as part of your husband, you can't sue yourself for hitting yourself. I'm going to sue myself for hitting myself in the face. No, under coverture you can't do that. So take a look at that and also see the equivalences between husband, father, master, right? The master of apprentices, the master of slaves, the master of children, the master of women. This is the universe, political universe of the time. And you get to see how difficult it was for women who were defined, for black and white women, and women of all colors who were defined as on the level of children, really. How difficult it was to make a claim for equality. Okay, and read Sojourner Truth's Ain't I Woman, and be sure to check out the Kerry Washington speech on it because it's so great. She does such a great job, I think, of making a very early case for intersectionality. And if you don't know what intersectionality is, listen to Sojourner Truth, because I think she really points out that there are many aspects of identity, and we need to take them all into account when we consider a person. Read Kimberly Crenshaw's Demarginalizing the Intersection of Race and Sex. That is where the concept of intersectionality comes from. Maybe you have a sort of idea of it as overlapping identities, but what intersectionality actually refers to, really, it comes out of court cases where the law was actually incapable of understanding how someone could be both black and a woman. Like the law understands discrimination against black people. It understands discrimination against women. It doesn't understand that somebody could be discriminated against for being specifically a black woman. It doesn't understand that black men might not be discriminated against, but that doesn't mean black women aren't. So that's where intersectionality really began to push against the legal system and say, you've got to really consider that many aspects of identity can lead to oppression or be characterized in certain ways that limit people's access to justice. So check that out. Okay, so that's the first part of the class this week.